See, this is what happens when you're gone for too long. I completely forgot a step. I need everyone to make sure you all check out my entire eyeshadow collection playlist right here above. If you've already watched it, you already probably have an idea of what I'm going to say now. Every month, I try to pick a subscriber of the month, and that person gets to have a dedicated tutorial for themselves every month. Last month, they chose the Pat McGrath Mothership 5, and the month before that, they chose the Juvia's Blush Rose. This month for March, someone's going to be able to choose, and you can do so by leaving a comment down below letting me know which palette you want. I completely forgot, and I wanted to make sure I added that in because my Use It or Lose It will be posted on Wednesday, and that's when I will announce who the new subscriber of the month will be and what palette they chose. I may not be able to get that video up for their tutorial this particular week, but I will get it up this month, and I just wanted to make sure I reminded you all of that. And now that we've done so, we can go ahead and get to business and get into today's video. I guess on my hair, she look all right, and with that actually sitting there like this frames, and I had to have them, sis. All 5 of here. I just had, we're gonna discontinue it, but I had to pick up their book of shadows, honey. Color grade makes cheap fan, expensive breeze, good times. Why so serious? What's up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's Torrence here, and in today's video, we are doing our February rankings. Unfortunately, I did get sick, and we did have a statewide power outage. Well, not the entire state, but many scattered areas in the state of Michigan had a power outage. So I was without power for a while, and that's what caused me to get sick. But I'm like, honey, we need to get back into it. We need to get on it because it's a lot of things I wanted to get out for you all, including some more information about my giveaway. That's going to be coming tomorrow, so make sure you stay tuned for that. But please forgive me if I sound a little nasally, honey. I do feel just fine, but every now and then you still have to cough and get some of that last little stuff up. But enough of that. February rankings, I have 5 palettes here. It's only 5, but they are all beautiful. We got to talk about them all, pros, cons, prices, everything, like the whole 9 yards. So before we get started, I would love it if you hit that subscribe button. If you're a returning subscriber, I want to say thank you, honey. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Also, leave me a comment down below if you either have any of these palettes or if you have intentions on grabbing them after I tell you all about my rankings. And with all of my ranking videos, all of these palettes will have a video link down below, so you can check for that in my tutorial list. They all have swatches on them and everything. And we're going to show you a picture for each one so you can see exactly why I like them or why they rank where they did. So let me slide over, because for the first one, you know, we got to get into things. I got to show you all a picture. And although I love the brand owner and I love the brand, I play fair around here, and everything has to go according to the rules, honey. And we're going to get into what that is later on. So first up, boom. This picture here is nice. She's neutral. To me, she's soft, because you know I like to go ham with it. But even though I love Rihanna, I could not let my love for Rihanna dictate where this palette gonna place, honey. We was gonna do things fairly. So with that being said, many of you already know who comes in at number 5. Let me slide over here. That will be the Fenty Beauty Stalk'r palette. This is what she looks like, and baby, I got lotion on my hand, so I might not be able to get that off. But let me give you all a close-up of the palette here. This is what the packaging looks like on the outside. The palette on the inside, we have 7 shades. We have 2 shimmers. We have 5 mattes. Ooh, let me lift that up. 2 shimmers, 5 mattes, honey. Let's get into her. And she retails for $48. And that $48 price point is part of the reason why she's ranking so low. The thing is, there's nothing that I hate about this palette, but there's also nothing that I absolutely love about it. It is considered a face and eye palette, so this is considered bronzers and highlighters, I bought it with the exclusive purpose of using it on the eyes because any bronzer in here, especially this middle shade, I have as an individual. That one is Caramel Cutie. I already have it for a bronzer for my face, so I knew this was strictly going to be for the eyes. The problem for me is many of the rules I like for an eyeshadow palette is I like at least 3 textures. I like to have a really deep dark shade, if not a black, something close to black, and if not a white, something close to white. I also like a good formula, something that's buildable, something that's blendable, and I also like a mixture of neutrals and colorful tones. Because colorful is what I love, I don't mind you throwing in some neutrals, but even if you're going to give me a neutral palette, give me variety or throw in a few colorful shades in there to help blend things together. And I just feel as if this palette just did not quite hit the mark for anything. The formula is okay, but not stunning. She only offers neutrals, but you can't really go that deep, that dark, because you only have this one shade here that truly shows up much deeper than my shade here. And you can't really go that light because these 2 shades barely show up on my complexion and none of them are light enough for an inner corner highlight. So it's like I'm stuck right there in the middle. And with these 2 shades, although they're shimmery, they're not a really strong full metallic, which I like. And I understand every day doesn't have to be a metallic day, but it's like everything about this palette was just okay. Nothing blew me away, nothing took my heart, nothing made me go, okay, if I lose you, would I want another? And at $48, I just really wish I could get more. I just know at that price point, there are a ton of palettes on the market that will leave you extremely satisfied. And there are a ton of palettes that are even cheaper than that. So for $48, it was just like, I get it to support Rihanna, so I'm not mad. But I would never tell anybody else to go out and spend their $48 for it. If you get it, she's just extremely simple, extremely beginner friendly. But for the girl who got skilled, the girl who's trying to do something dramatic, the girl who wants variety, I don't think this is going to satisfy you. So that's why she's stuck at number 5. Next up, number 4. Let me slide over because baby, this one surprised me. I can admit, I genuinely love either neutrals or cool tones. Warm, they just don't do it for me, honey. I just see them as being just a little too basic for somebody who likes doing dramatic, colorful shades like myself. But get into this. I shocked myself. I think I even shocked you all when I did it because you all love warm neutrals. And just looking at it in the palette, I was like, no ma'am, I don't want no parts of it, but I'm going to do this for y'all. And I believe this palette was a collab because I believe my January subscriber of the month chose a palette, and this palette launched the same time as that one. So I think I might have given it away. But at number 4, we have the Bronze Rustic palette. And for January, I believe it was the Rose one. I can't remember the name of it, but I'll leave that linked above. The Rose palette for January was chosen because this launched at the same time. I wanted to get this up, but I wasn't able to get it up till February. So let's first get into this packaging here. This is from Juviasplace, and the Blushed Rose, that's what it's called, looks just like it except it's pink. It finally came to me, the Blushed Rose. Let's get into this color story on the inside. We have 6 shades, 2 shimmers, and 4 mattes. And this palette here retails for $15, which is why it ranks a little bit higher than the Fenty Beauty one. Because at $15, you're just under a third of the price, because I could pick 3 of these up for $45 and still have $3 left over instead of picking up that Fenty palette. The thing is, although technically it could be considered a con because it has 1 less shade than the Fenty one does, because that has 5 mattes, this only has 4. The thing is, these 4 mattes offer a much better color variety than the 5 in the Fenty. I could wear just this one or just this one, and honestly, either of these bottom 2 as a 1 color look, because those colors are different enough to do so. This has such a yellow undertone that you will be able to tell that's eyeshadow and not my skin tone. This one is so bright, I could honestly use it as a blush. And I think in one of my tutorials, I really did take my my blush brush and put it in there, because when I first started using juviasplace, those large 9 pans were big enough you could swirl any brush into it. So I got used to doing that with my juviasplace palettes. Another pro for me, these two shimmers have a much stronger shine than the two in the Fenty. And this bottom one here comes off as a duochrome. I'm not 100% sure if it's a duochrome shadow or if it's the sparkles in it that have the duochrome flip. But either way, it's gorgeous. It comes off as two different colors. So I feel as if I'm getting my 3 textures. Am I getting the color dark enough for my outer corner to be considered as a black? No. Am I getting the color light enough to be considered a white or an inner corner or a brow bone matte highlight? No. But at $15 and a third of the price, baby, I'm only going to get so much. I don't expect you to satisfy my every need for $15. But for a third of the price, more variety, more pigmentation, and more shine, it beats that Fenty palette, which is why she's at number 4. Baby, I had to bring her. And it's palettes like this that just truly come through and have you going like, baby, I did not want it. I just wanted to be a completionist. I wanted to have every palette the brand makes. And now I love her. She's beautiful. She's gorgeous. If for any reason I could add a 7th shade like that Fenty palette, I would add a really, really deep dark brown or a black to this palette. Probably a dark brown, simply because I don't think a black would be needed. And then me and this palette will be able to go on about our lives and keep it moving. She's gorgeous. I have face highlighters. I have other matte whites, so I can use that or a matte black from somewhere else. But this, she deserves her number 4 spot because she's stunning. She's beautiful. And with that being at number 4, it's like, honey, the rest of these, y'all gonna have to bring y'all A game, because as you can see, number 4 just set the standard for y'all. And I truly believe these last 3 were the hardest 3 for me to rank. And I'm like, Torrence, where do you place them? How do you do this? You just stick to the rules, you take your feelings out of it, and you keep on moving. So at number 3, I didn't know where I was going to place this palette because I love it, you all love it, and the look that came from it was gorgeous, baby. Let me slide over a little bit more and look at this. Boom. Fabulous. Gorgeous. Stunning. When I tell you all, I've loved this palette since the day I've had it. I've used it so many times I can't remember, but it wasn't until a subscriber let it be known that they wanted this palette to be used, and this palette was used for my subscriber of the month for the month of February, and I had to get it out for her. She's gorgeous. From the formula to the look that came from it, to the packaging, to the brand owner, everything was beautiful. But she only came in at number 3 because of the price. And we're going to get into it, so let me show y'all first up. Pat McGrath, Mothership 5, get into her. The best palette package, like the best palette packaging in the makeup industry. Look at this black lacquer. I just told y'all I got lotions on my hands because I knew it was getting close to the camera today, so it may be a little something on here, but that don't change the fact that the back metal etched in it right here. So baby, you talk about the details, like look at the little logo that they put right here on the bottom. I don't know if y'all, oh yeah, y'all can see that right there. It matches the one that they have right here on the front. The mirror, baby, she beveled, she's gorgeous. The shades inside, spectacular. Get into this color story. 10 gorgeous shades. We have 3 mattes, we have 3 metallics, and over here on the side, baby, we got 4 of Pat McGrath's iconic Blitz Astral formula. When I say iconic, like baby, very few brands can come out with a formula and have everybody wanting some of that. Pat McGrath was able to do so, and this palette is gorgeous. When I tell you, you can wear her on a date, you can wear her to the office, you can wear her to a wedding. She's beautiful. I love this palette. It was a gift for Christmas. My subscriber of the month wanted to see her. But we gotta play fair. And it's like, Torrence, why would she only come in at third place then if she got everything? A few things that held her back is one, $128 is a lot of money, honey. I know I don't mind spending it. I have every Mothership palette she's dropped, and I'm gonna keep going. I'm not gonna stop. But $128 is a lot of money. Considering the fact we were just talking about how beautiful a palette can be for $15, you got to bring it for $128. And when I tell you, the packaging is there. The formula, whether you're going for matte, whether you're going for metallic, but these Bliss Astrals, they just changed the game up. You can layer them on top of other shades. You can wear them by themselves. They are gorgeous. Another thing that brought it down for me, although I know a lot of people don't expect it, but as someone who used to be a professional freelance makeup artist, honey, I like palettes that are magnetic. If I just want to take this one shade out, pop her out, put her in another palette, or just replace her because I don't like her, I want the freedom to do so, and this doesn't allow me that. I understand this is an experience. Mother wanted you to be able to enjoy this color story, but the more I pay, the more freedom I want. I believe at $128, there's nothing that I should still want, and the fact that I'm looking at it like, maybe if they had a matte brow bone highlight shade, or maybe if they were magnetic, it would be perfect, means you not perfect. So I got to bring you down just a little bit. But when I tell you, everybody I know who has this palette has loved it. I've even given one of these away in a giveaway before, and they loved it, and she's stunning. But you don't always have to pay $128 for this palette. If you sign up for Pat McGrath's emailing list, it is very common for you to see things like 25 to 40% off. And there's been times where they even had a glitch where there was 50% off sales. So you can get this here. And honestly, a lot of people have been catching Pat McGrath in TJ Maxx and Marshalls and things like that. So a lot of people have been getting even more than 50% off. So if you're going directly to like Sephora or directly to Pat McGrath, you may have to pay $128, but you may be able to find it at a lower price, which is why I was able to increase this up to number 3. But even at the full price, I think she's worth it. It's just, it's hard to recommend something to other people when there are beautiful eyeshadow formulas out there for half the price, if not even less than that. But if you get her, you're gonna love her, and not including the fact that she's so heavy she can be used as a weapon. So baby, get you a Mothership palette. And with that being at number 3, that means we only got 2 palettes left. And although I wanted to make this number 1, I had to be fair. I keep telling everybody, I understand personal preference is going to play a role, but I make sure it is not the most important role. So we're going to slide over, and we're going to let my little achy breaky heart sit back and understand, Torrence, it had to go to number 2. It cannot have the number 1 spot. So let's get into it. Let me let y'all see what she... Boo. My favorites out of all of the eyeshadow colors in the world, honey, you know can't nothing do it like greens to me. Greens are my neutrals. Greens are my favorites. I think they are the best. Not only because I just genuinely think that greens look the best on me, but because my wife Brianna has green eyes, honey. So green around my eyes just do it for me. I know everybody tells me how much they love neutrals. They love the colors orange. A lot of people really love the color blue on me, but I just think nothing does it like greens. And when they dropped this palette, I was like, oh my goodness, honey. I couldn't believe it. Let's get into it. At number 2, the Inspired palette by Adept Cosmetics. Let's get into this packaging. Just look at that green flip. I love a deep, dark, jewel tone shade. And let me tell you, look at that. I just knew there was no way they could disappoint me with this palette just by looking on the outside. Then we get on the inside and it's like, come on, show it to me, show it to me. Oh, look at all the green in this palette, honey. Look at it. Look at the way they shift and the light. $68, Heidi, for all of this. I had to get it. As soon as I was on the internet constantly searching, I got this before the launch because they had that slip up with the website. Benefited me. I know a lot of people was hurt. A lot of people could not get it because of that. And I feel sorry for y'all, but baby, there was no way I was going to cancel my order. I didn't care what the price was. I was going to get this bad boy. And when I look at her, I love her and I'm so happy I got her. Pros. We have more than our three. Y'all know I like three formulas. We got mattes, we got metallics, we got sparkly metallics, we got dual chromes, we got multi-chrome. So it's like, calm down, Torrence. Calm down. Look at all of these grades. My favorite color of them all is here. 15 whole shades. So we can play around for days and not go through the same colors. They magnetic. So even if I just want to say, okay, Torrence, I just want to take you out. I don't want to travel with the whole palette. I just want that one color. Guess who got the freedom to do that? I don't use the mirrors, but they gave me one. The only two problems that I saw with this palette, and I had to bring it up because I'm going to be honest, y'all my people and I know y'all come for my opinion. The two problems I saw with this was one, there was nothing for a neutral look. If I was a secretary for a Fortune 500 company, baby, I don't know how many days I would be able to get away with wearing this one because it ain't a brown in sight, baby. This is all colorful, baby, and that's the way I like it. Even though I knew that's what I was going for, even though that's what I like, I understand when it comes to rankings, nobody's excluded. You can't do neutrals, so that got to be something that can be taken away from you. Another thing is, I don't feel as if this offers a good variety of brow bone, inner corner highlight, or outer crease shades. When you look for like those really deep, dark outer crease matte shades, the only option you have is this one here. And I really felt as if, because I have this shade and this shade here for transition, and then this one and this one here are medium for about, you know, crease work. Giving me just this one for outer V was like, considering I got 10 metallics, you could have either gave me one of those for a matte brow bone highlight or another one for outer V work. So that way I have two options for every area. I don't want to have two transitions, two crease, but only one outer V choice. And then 10 lid shade options. Something in those lid shades could have came back out and given me more crease works because I have hooded lids, and that's why I had to take a point from it. Nobody's excluded from not being able to give me that. And my personal last reason for taking another point and bringing her down to number 2 is the fact that this was so limited edition that I think everybody had to pick it up on pre-order, and now she gone. I believe if you live in the EU, they have a website that is allowing you to purchase it there. But those of us who need it shipped here in America, you missed it, sis. She gone. And at $68, she's much less than the Mothership palette, but I figure she offers you a much bigger variety of textures, of colors, and this is the first and only palette on this rankings that has multi-chromes. Multi-chromes is my favorite shimmer finish. How I wanted to make this number 1, but I gotta play fair, and I love her, but the fact that you limited edition, you don't have no neutrals, and you already gone, I got to be fair and put you at number 2, and we're gonna put this over here. But I'm not gonna be mad, I'm not gonna be hurt, because every time I put a palette at number 1, I truly feel as if it deserves its number 1 spot. So let me slide over because I am just like too geeked on the palette that got this spot, and let's just check her out like boop. If you all see this look and you've been around for a while, you recognize that look. This may be an updated version of it, but it's still the same color placement that I've been doing since before YouTube, which is why I love this look and this palette so much. Now, I know I told you all, we take our personal feelings out of our rankings, or we just make it a very minimal point for it. But even with doing so, I truly still believe that this palette deserves number one. And that is going to be the Masquerade Mini by Juviasplace. Like, get into her, honey. First off, the packaging. Absolutely stunning. You know, I feel as if Juviasplace does the best artwork in the industry. She is a huge palette. The largest shades of them all at 16 total shades, baby. No color gives us, no palette on this ranking gives us as many. And then when you look at this, you notice the top half is completely colorful and the bottom half is completely neutral. We have matte and we have shimmer options for both. With my 3 textures, at first I was like, I don't see 3 textures, Torrence. How you gonna pull that off? We have mattes, we have matte with sparkles, and we have metallic shades. So I'm like, Torrence, matte with sparkle might not be a formula you tend to use or tend to prefer, but it's there. You got to give it props where it is. So it's like, you may use them as mattes, but it's there, honey. We're gonna give points where it's at. Another pro, $25, honey. $25, meaning you are cheaper than 3 of the other palettes. The only palette more affordable than this, oh, I slipped that all up. The only palette more affordable than this one is another Juviasplace palette. But Torrence, how did this end up beating everybody out? First off, at $25, once again, to know that the only thing more affordable was the Juviasplace Bronze Rustic, she only offered neutrals. Let me get her right here. You only offer neutrals. The most color I'm gonna get is that coral shade here. So for $10 extra, and for more than double the shades, because 2 of these is 30. This is 25, honey. And this offers more than 12 shades. So a full neutral look, matte and shimmer, or a full colorful look, matte and shimmer, I can pull it off. The formula is beautiful. The pigmentation is beautiful. And down here, baby, I've done looks for both of these because I had to just sit back and think, like, wait, Torrence, you've done an all neutral look. Let me slide over and give y'all a peek of that real quick. Boom. I did a neutral look with this palette because I believe I used this for the foundation one time. So I didn't even have to, I'm sitting back like, yeah, let me get back into this. And that is why I love this palette, because one, you're the largest. So you give me the largest color variety. And even though I'm not the biggest fan of blues and pinks, they're here. You're also giving me my favorite greens, my second favorite color purples, but I have neutrals, honey. There may not be a neutral light brow bone highlight, but you gave me the shimmery option. And so considering this is the most versatile palette of them all, considering it's the fact it's the second least expensive palette of them all, if I want to mix them and just do a neutral crease with a shimmery lid, I can do that. And very few palettes, actually when I look across, none of those palettes do, because they're all either all neutral, except that Pat McGrath, she gives you a little kick of color. But can Pat McGrath give me a kick of blue, green, and purple? No, ma'am, she don't have no purple. She ain't got no blue in that one. This palette does. And although she may not have a mirror, she may not be magnetic, the price lets me know if for any reason I wanted to risk depotting this, she's only $25. I would not ever want to risk a Pat McGrath palette at $128 unless I already got my other one sitting on the side that I bought, and this one is on its way out the door so I can try it. I wouldn't do it. But this palette here, yes ma'am, I love her. This was the very first tutorial I did on YouTube, was the Masquerade Mini. I think I'm going to change the name of that tutorial because I can't have them both with the exact same name, and I always wanted to name my original video See James We Did It, but then I realized no one would be able to find my Masquerade mini tutorial with that title. Now that I have them both up, they are both available, and she's here. She's number one. She's sentimental to me, but even without that, baby, the color story, the pigmentation, the variety, and the one thing I wanted to tell you all, because a lot of people were saying they could not find this at Ulta anymore, I was able to find this at Target. If you all did not know, Target now has an Ulta area inside of it, and many stores are still building and adding that in, but you can still get this for the $25 at Ulta. If you look online, check to make sure they have it first, and that's how I get it, and I love it. And it looks like my camera is about to cut off on us, honey. I love you all and do not want this to end, so please stay tuned for my haul tomorrow, because I got a surprise coming for you all. So with nothing else, I hope you all remember to practice, continue to stay blessed, and until next time, goodbye, YouTube.